Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a little video review of some Magic the Gathering proxy cards made by a guy by the name of Skater7981 here on YouTube. What you see here before you are proxy cards. These are not real Magic cards. They're all proxies, all of them, which basically means they're used in vintage format tournaments to play with cards that you normally would not be able to afford unless you were fairly wealthy. All of these cards, the real versions, would go from anywhere from several $100s to over $1,000. And what Skater here does is offer proxy cards, which are not the real cards, but they are printed on real Magic the Gathering cards that have been blanked, presumably with acetone or some other means, with the art on them of these expensive cards. You can play with them without having to actually spend inordinate amounts of money on them, and most vintage tournaments do allow for the use of proxies, and so that's what these are for. Starting at the top here, we have a Mox Ruby, excuse me. It's a ruby, looks very nice. I'll try to hold it by the side here so you can see it better. It's the front and the back. Now you probably can't see it on the camera, but these do have a little blue line in the middle between the two cardboard layers of the card, which indicates these were printed on real Magic the Gathering cards. And here you have the Mox Jet, next one. And over here, Mox Emerald. Two Black Lotuses. And finally, an Imperial Seal. So let's talk about the quality of these proxy cards. The first thing you'll notice is that they do look very much like the real thing, if you're at all familiar with the real versions of these cards. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the real version on hand to compare with, but I assure you they are very similar. There are a couple differences. I was able to actually compare this Mox Ruby up here to one of my friend's real Mox Rubies yesterday, and the biggest difference I noticed was with the border here, the frame of the card. On the real one, this frame is quite a bit lighter in color. It's still brown and looks very similar, but you do notice it's lighter in color. Also, my camera is probably not good enough quality to show this, but the artwork on the proxy card, while very nice looking, does look a little softer than the real one. So there are subtle differences. It looks very similar. It's very well done, very high resolution. It's hard to imagine this was printed on anything less than a professional graphics printer. And they look fantastic. There are some small differences, I've said, so obviously I would highly discourage anyone from purchasing these proxy cards from Skater and trying to pass them off as the real thing, because, well, there are enough differences that you'll notice they're not. However, these sure beat the heck out of writing the word Mox whatever on a basic land card, sleeving it up, and then playing it as your proxy. The really nice thing about these is I think you get the feel of playing with the real card without actually having it, and without having to, just, as I said, take a Sharpie and write Mox whatever on a basic land card and have your deck look rather crappy. So I'm really pleased with them. I think he did a fantastic job. The Black Lotuses look exceptionally good. Everything is really clear quality. Just did a phenomenal job. As you will notice, all of these cards are white border. At the moment, Skater is not doing black border proxies, although he has talked about the possibility of maybe doing so in the future. So for now, he will do anything you want, really. Just has to be white border. Whether it's a Black Lotus, Moxen, any of the Power 9, or other little oddball cards like this Imperial Seal here. Very handy tutor, but at $300 to $500 for the real one, it's a little hard to come by, so it's nice to have these proxies. I'm sure I will use these cards for many long years. They seem like they're printed with really good quality ink and will stand up to the test of time quite well, I'm sure. And at the price of $10 each, I think they were a reasonable investment. Get a lot of neat looks from people at the card shops when I'm using these to play casually, and next time I participate in a vintage tournament, it'll be really good to have some much nicer looking proxies than the basic land cards I have been using. So again, this is a video review of Skater's Magic the Gathering proxy cards. Hope you enjoyed.